Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Save us from losing our souls. Save the world. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls. Together we can save the world. Together we are invincible. Save the world from wars. Save the world from breaking apart. Save us from losing our hearts. Save us from losing our souls.
Making my wish come true like a genie. Holding up the glass in the club too steamy. Not a race horse, you a black Lamborghini. Some people might think you're sleazy. You're so fine, so you're making look easy. So much you can make a man green. So don't stop, go ahead and get freaky. You got me wanting to be with you. So sexy, I don't know what to do. Your curves are making my dreams come true. The way it's pushing me taboo. Just be naughty, move like a broke girl, it ain't no hobby. Looking so good, gotta tell somebody. Blows my mind when I see a hot body. A hot body. Makes me wanna fall in love. Makes me wanna fall in love. Don't stop now, just get naughty. Move like a broke girl, it ain't no hobby. Looking so good, gotta tell somebody. Blows my mind when I see a hot body. A hot body. Making my wish come true like a genie. Holding up the glass in the club too steamy. Not a race horse, you a black Lamborghini. Some people might think you're sleazy. You're so fine, but you're making look easy. So much you can make a man green. So don't stop, go ahead and get freaky. You got me wanting to be with you. So sexy, I don't know what to do. Your curves are making my dreams come true. The way it's pushing me taboo. Just get naughty, move like a broke girl, it ain't no hobby. Looking so good, gotta tell somebody. Blows my mind when I see a hot body. A hot body. Makes me wanna fall in love. Makes me wanna fall in love. Don't stop now, just get naughty. Move like a broke girl, it ain't no hobby. Looking so good, gotta tell somebody. Blows my mind when I see a hot body. A hot body. A hot body. A hot body. One, two, three, into the four. Checking out your moves as I walk through the door. Never seen a girl like you any before. Body like a goddess and you move on before. You're a soldier and you're ready for war. Got a lot of junk in the trunk, you're hardcore. I don't wanna stop, I want you to more. Cause you got a little something I just can't ignore. So go ahead, girl, take your time. Shake it like you need a girl, let it all shine. Body
everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a wonderfully wacky Wednesday. We are here, we've got a few videos to watch, a couple of them political, a couple of them not. We're gonna have a good stream, gonna be here for about 2 hours probably, so I hope you guys are ready for that. And I'm excited. I've got my equipment coming, I filled out the assistive devices program paperwork, got it all done, and it looks like I'll be getting a new computer and a new braille display come April, so not too far to wait. It's going to be an updated Mac Mini with better memory, and I'm going to have the HumanWare Brilliant BI40 display. So that's going to be fun. And I cannot wait to show you guys that technology, show you guys what the Braille display can do. Hello, Spittlebuggies. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. And that's my news. The other news is that Driving Ape is no longer in a van. The van broke. The transmission died. So he is now, things are finalized and he's now in a new car, not a new car, but a different car. So, but that's why I've been pushing the PayPal link so much, because he's been off the road for a few days, 5 days. So, but yeah, I hope you guys are ready to have a fun stream. Like I said, I've got a couple of political videos and a couple of not political videos. And so I think we're going to have fun. I think we're going to have a good stream. And what was I going to say? Oh my goodness, I just found a wet spot on my jeans from when we were walking. It is freezing rain outside. It is gross outside, and poor Pincalo is walking to get the kids. He's doing what I would usually do and going to walk and get the children. So he's walking out in the freezing rain right now. So everybody send your thoughts to Pincalo as he travels in this horrible weather. And yeah, I think we're gonna start with our non-political videos. I think that's what we'll do. What else do I want to do, though, before we talk about the political... Oh, yeah. Diablo 4 is on sale right now, so if anybody wants to help me get it, it's $60 instead of $89. So there's that. The link is in the description. But I think we're going to start with our first video by Ruined Leon called Activists Suck at Recognizing Reality. Which, well, that's just obviously true. We all know that. But Leon often gives us some prime examples of what he means. And I'd like to see what this is about. So let's take a listen.
How it started, comma, how's it going, colon, it's called a, in quotes, slave iron bit. This is so wrong on so many levels, period.
Oh boy, what are we getting into?
Torture, period. Every day, comma, we are beaten down with racialized state violence, comma, told we must be debased and watch bodies violated and tortured, period, in parentheses. And why is he in front of the same judge, question mark. She's a party to his alleged record now, exclamation point, close parentheses. It does not matter what you are accused of having done, comma, you cannot be treated like this, period. There is a whole body of literature about why juries can't see you shackled and considered you might be innocent, period, in parentheses. Sit in a trial and you will see defendants are often brought in shackles, period, period, period.
I like how he's reading out the punctuation in this tweet. It makes it so much better, like so much more suspenseful. And you can tell just how much this activist is upset by what's going on.
Unshackled, comma, then chained to the floor, out of sight, close parentheses, period. How can a jury or appeals judge see these court-allowed photos and, comma, if they get the case later, close parentheses and comma for some reason.
Should close parentheses and comma for some reason.
Someone presented like a non-human animal might be innocent, question mark. How can the judge rule impartially, imperilly, I don't know if that's spelled correctly, on an attack she was in, question mark. Accused mass murderers aren't treated like this, period. I don't know what his alleged crimes are, comma, but I will say this, colon, a known racist system that will torture a man by putting him in hand shackles and a head hood is a system that will trigger a violent attempt to escape its confines, period. This isn't just predictable, comma, it is inevitable.
Damn, what a word salad that was. I have no idea what this is in regards to. But holy shit, that person is angry. That person is pissed off and something is brewing in there.
Period. Believe it or not, this is actually my second time reading this Twitter thread in this exact same year. And upon reading it the second time, I'm even more confused. Why did you feel the
It says masked.
need to speak so poignantly and with care about a subject you admit you know nothing about? You don't know why this is going on. You don't know what happened. You don't know the circumstance. You just see black man in chains with a mask on and you think slave. How dare they treat this African American man in the year 2024 like a slave? How dare they do this? You should not be treating people like slaves. You are making it seem like he is already a criminal based on how you have him being presented in front of a judge and a jury. Newsflash, dumb fuck. The reason why he was in that is because he did this.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court
Oh, he's
while
the
yes,
guy that
the
jumped
memes were
over
funny,
the bench.
the memes were hilarious, they were all something we could
He's the guy that jumped over the bench at the judge. Okay. Yeah, that's why he's all shackled and masked up, you idiot. It has nothing to do with the whole being a slave and him being black. It has everything to do with what he did.
we could all enjoy for a moment in time, buddy. He had to go back into the courtroom, and because he is a clear risk, they needed more security, they needed him in stronger chains, and yes, they had him in a mask so he don't start spitting, hogging to and doing all that extra shit. Why? It's no one else's fault. It's not the American corrupt racist justice system. It's his fault. He did that. He jumped that lady. He beat the piss out that lady, and he met his consequence then, and he met it now, because he's going to jail for, I believe, between 26 and 65 years, and he's not eligible for parole until 2050. So when y'all sit there and y'all try to play the omnipotent being who tries to get everyone to understand sympathetic ways between man, woman.
I love the way when he talks like this, it makes me laugh so hard. Because it's true. Like, these people, these activists, they say all this dumb shit about, oh, this is slavery. This is mimicking slavery. No. This is exactly what he deserves. He's a bad, bad man.
And child, I need you to understand, everybody don't go for that shit. Even the people who like to speak so clairvoyantly will sit there, and when something bad happens to them, they don't really take too much pity on the person who did the bad to them. They want them to face consequence, karma, and justice all in between. And Big Tyrone will satisfy all his needs because Big Tyrone likes them jumpy motherfuckers. But
oh boy. Oh boy, Leon, you are spicy today.
back to the point. You can't sit here and play the confused individual with subjects everyone else knows about. And when you come into frame saying, oh, well, I don't really know what happened and I don't know what's here. Shut the fuck up. Pick up your phone, stop tweeting, and figure out why this dude went viral. Figure out why he's in all that fucking garb. And
yeah, figure out why he's masked up and shackled. Find out what he did when he was in the courtroom previously. And then maybe you won't look like such a freaking idiot when you tweet about it.
you will easily understand. Yeah, he deserves to be there.
I'm not making excuses for my actions, but I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I care about her well-being, Judge Johnson, you know? And I came to court that day, and I was talking to her, and I told her I never stopped trying to do the right things. I wasn't pointing like, oh, this person did this to me, I deserve a chance of probation. This is not fair. All I see was red, and all I heard her say, oh, this, she said, and I finally watched the whole video. I was standing here in the courtroom with all of you guys, and I finally saw the entire video, Judge Johnson. I'm like, I can't believe this. And I wasn't even mad at Michael Lasso. I was like, I commend him on doing for what he did, and everybody in the prison trying to make me hate him and hate the judge, and I'm still trying to do the right thing. They putting stuff in my ear, and I can't get away from it.
What is this? What is this pity me, oh woe is me, everybody was trying to make me hate you bullshit?
But basically what I'm trying to say is everything I've been doing, this is just like, this is not right to me. But like I said, I know the state has a job to do.
This is not right to me.
Basically
well, maybe
what I'm saying is,
done what you did.
I know I cared about Mary Kay Holthus, to make a long story short, but when I was sitting here talking to her, I swear this has been happening to me since 2012. I saw nothing but red, and I heard her say, I think it's time for a taste of something else. I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing anything except for jumping on top of her and doing this to her robe. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what
You can't do that, dude. You cannot do that. That's not okay. That is not allowed. You have to control yourself. You have to control your temper.
I wanted to ask her if I think I know myself, but I'm not really sure. That's the only thing I could come up with. I had 11 months.
And you know what? We're doubling it, because all you people who are like defunding the police, this is a completely separate topic. All you people that cheer about how we need to defund the police, guess what? One of y'all favorite advocates, activists, whatever you want to call her, got robbed, and she was mad the police weren't there on time to help her. I thought
That's ironic as fuck. That's ironic as fuck. Oh, please, defund the police. The police are horrible, evil people. We don't need them. Where were you, police, when I got robbed? It's like, holy shit, you can't make this shit up.
You didn't want the police to have the fucking resources to help you, dumb fuck. Stop doing shit if you can't handle when it affects you. I understand we all like to live in these moments where we think we could talk and it'll only affect the rest of the world. It won't affect us personally. Newsflash, when you get jumped by somebody, that affects you, and you're gonna want to see them face the consequences. When you spend all that time talking about defunding the police, and then you get robbed in broad daylight, and you have no one to fucking count on, not the social workers, not your vigilante Batman friends who just smoke weed all day.
Your vigilante Batman friends.
And not even the cops. You're going to realize that a lot of your bright ideas and your omnipotent being of caring about every single individual won't work, because that's not reality. Reality, as much as no one really wants to look in the mirror and admit it, sucks.
Yes, reality does suck. Reality sucks to the point where vans break down just before Christmas. and like shit, reality is bullshit.
And it has a lot of sucky moments in it. And getting jumped sucks. Having your entire moving van stolen from you sucks. And I would hope everyone starts to
Hello,
course correct
kitten.
and understand that while we have all these great ideas for a better society, while we have all these great ideas upon respecting groups and individuals who clearly don't deserve it in time, and while we clearly want to have these ideas that are beneficial to the minorities, a lot of these ideas either need some fine tuning or you just need to shut the fuck up.
Yep. Pretty much. Either fix your shit or just stop flapping your thumbs on Twitter.
Further research instead of trying to virtue signal for a group of people who clearly don't deserve it. Actually take the time to not take away a resource that would help a bunch of people, even the less fortunate, even the minorities, and understand that you should probably keep the keys out of the ignition, or don't be some dumbass who just has the car door open. That way you don't get robbed. And for everyone else,
There you go. Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot and get yourself robbed. That's the better one. That's the better one. Don't be a dumbass and get robbed, and don't be angry that the police aren't there to help you. Because you've already said that you don't want the police there to help you. Because that's something that these activists keep talking about. Let's see. Defund the police advocate moans that the police are understaffed. Like the Just Stop Oil Ponces that drive Range Rovers and Porsches. Yes! Yes! Exactly! Like those assholes. Like those assholes. Exactly. So, I am very much trying to get Diablo 4 right now. It is on sale for $60. So that's what today's stream goal is up for. The $80 stream goal is up to grab the Diablo 4. But we are going to watch a video from Asmongold. Game graphics were better 9 years ago is the title of this video. And I'm watching Asmongold reacting to this video because I want to hear his takes on it, because he understands like the graphics and the visuals and stuff like that. I want to react to both the video he's watching and what he says. So we're going to take a look at this video.
I want to say, guys, that this is the Matrix, okay? If we watch this video, you will never be able to see video games the same ever again.
Well, I can't see video games anyway, so haha, joke's on you, Asmongold.
You'll never be able to see them the same. Reality will be changed for you and altered. Here we go.
And somebody the other day in my chat, I think it was Oryx, was saying that they preferred video games from 9 or 10 years ago to now.
5 milliseconds at 1080p on a 13 teraflop machine for cloud shading only half the frame surface
Hey,
area.
Cannibalistic.
For my layman viewers, there's a massive FPS difference when clouds are disabled inside the overhyped, under-criticized, and supposedly faster Unreal 5.5. This basic effect is now running over 800% slower than it was in Unreal Engine 5.4. And still relies on temporal smear abuse to hide jittering. This isn't some, it's just going to be patched out scenario. I told Epic Games during the preview phase of 5.5 about this issue so that they could fix it before they release the production-ready version of 5.5.
I'm glad I'm watching Asmongold react to this, because I do not understand the coding aspect of this. But I think it's important to listen to, because especially if I want to start learning more about gaming, coding, and and getting myself into more of the accessible game space, I need to start watching stuff like this and learning about it.
No one is talking about issues like this. And if I can show you something this broken in 30 seconds, imagine what I'll show you in the rest of this video.
Oh boy.
In this video, I'm going to set some new standards for both gamers and non-graphic developers on what 9th generation hardware can and should be delivering.
Okay.
First, I'll break down a logical approach to modern frame budgets to maximize the under-discussed limitations of modern consoles.
This is why I'm glad I'm watching Zach react to this.
Then we'll explore the declining quality and indirect light.
Yes, because consoles are PCs for cavemen. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, stop, Zach, stop. Consoles are, sometimes people need consoles, like me.
Solutions, and disprove the ridiculous arguments made in defense of the performance and quality regression seen in modern titles. Before diving into the technical breakdowns, it's very important to clarify the scenario that drives the studio's technological focus.
Yeah.
We are developing a fast-paced, realistic third-person action title. The gameplay alternates between outdoor and indoor environments, with roughly 75% of the scene composed of static objects.
Right.
The remaining 25% consists of dynamic elements, including characters, breakable objects, vehicles, moving light occluders, such as doors and windows, and finally, moving and toggleable light sources.
Okay.
It's very important for viewers to note that the conditions mirror the scenarios found in hundreds of games,
Sure.
including
Yeah,
many
accurate.
produced on 9th Gen.
Okay.
This means the improvements and systems we advocate for, and with your support we may eventually produce, can benefit hundreds of third-party productions in terms of quality and performance.
So this is, I think this is like an indie person trying to produce a game on the Epic Store with Unreal Engine. I think this is what this is.
The target hardware for this studio, and what the industry should prioritize as well, is going to be the PS5 and Series X consoles because of their well-established enhancements over their base-gen and mid-gen predecessors.
Sure.
The plan we promote today accounts for the limitations between these machines, such as the lower theoretical teraflop power of the base PS5 and the Series X 2 times slower SSD speed. This allows for extra benefits when performance and image quality goals have been met universally between the two. So if you're out there with your 4070 talking about how great the features we criticize run on your hardware, you are incredibly irrelevant to the...
That's what I fucking did. Oh, jeez. Yeah, because for me, I haven't had... I have a 4090, right?
Oopsies. Oopsies. Asmongold feels called out. That's funny.
You're relevant? No, but he's right. He's absolutely right. You shouldn't judge the quality on something using the highest model.
Consoles are great, just
Absolutely
like Duplo
not.
is the same as Lego.
It's a bad frame of reference. No, he's right about it.
Ouch.
This conversation because you
Why
are
is the kid so hostile? Let me explain. When you know a lot about a topic and you think that nobody is listening to you, and it's so fucking obvious, it's really fucking annoying.
Yes. Like when it comes to certain parts of disability topics or blindness topics or like accessibility stuff, politics stuff. If people like if it's something I really know about and I'm not being heard, it really pisses me off.
That's the reason why.
Way beyond target spec. The Series S remains as a destructive outlier due to completely botching the established hardware improvements from its mid-gen predecessor.
Okay.
And for this reason, we cannot scrutinize the butchered image quality or extreme upscaling we've seen on this console.
I mean, this looks like shit, right? I mean, what the fuck is this? Like, this is like from PlayStation 3.
And that's on a modern console that it looks like that? That's pathetic.
This is awful.
Since there doesn't seem to be enforced image quality standards, we believe the Series S should not dictate or limit the progress of visual standards for the truly hardware-enhanced machines. Now, let's discuss the appropriate target resolution and frame rate, because I find the performance or resolution mode trend to be a very poor approach to modern hardware utilization.
Thank you. I think the entire idea that, like, you can only play it with, like, performance or like, what do you call it? Like, optimization, like visuals, it's so stupid.
Yeah. You shouldn't. You should be able to play it as whatever way you want. If you want to play it with the optimized stuff on, fine. But if you don't, you shouldn't have to.
Consider the PS5 and PS4. On PS4,
It's like you either
most
want the game to
8th
look
generation
bad
visuals
or
ran at
play
1080p,
bad.
Yeah.
30 FPS on a 1.9
What a
teraflop
great
system.
choice.
Yeah.
To double the frame
Either
rate,
your game plays like shit or looks like shit. Yay.
twice the amount of power is needed, which fits comfortably in the PS5 hardware budget, leaving large headroom for the much-needed 9th
Cooked
generation
graphics,
visual
yeah.
improvements.
Multi-platform games have always been created for the lowest denominator. That's how we used to get NTSC ports. Or just NTSC hates them jump all over the world. That's it's crazy. Like I'm glad I'm watching this and learning.
But resolution is a far more demanding challenge. Moving from 1080p to 4K requires 4 times the computational power, which consumes over half the available hardware resources.
Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but I think that people don't really give a fuck about 4K. I think that the difference between 720 to 480 is like 5x more than from 1080, or sorry, from 1080 to 4K.
Yeah, 4K, and me being blind, 4K, 1080, 4K, 720, none of that shit matters. But like nobody is upset that my stuff isn't like, because I think I broadcast in 1080 and nobody's upset that I don't have 4K. When big box PCs were ultra popular, they gave you, the card they gave you was an S3. They give an SHD over your, they give you an SHD over your Diamond Voodoo or Riva cards. See, this is
Like
all
4K
stuff I
is nice,
don't know about.
but most people that are playing PC games, especially, they're playing them on monitors that are less than 30 inches.
Yes.
I would say in most cases. So, like, what are you really doing with a 4K monitor resolution like that?
That's true. If your monitor is tiny, well, not even tiny, but if you've got like a 24-inch monitor, why do you need it in 4K? It's not like
1440.
you've got like a giant
for me, that's where I'm at. Is I have 1440 as well.
Just to maintain
And I think
the
that's
flawed appearance.
and really, it's just so much better. And like going from that to 4K is like so minimal, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And limited complexity.
Unless you're
of
like an
8th generation
aficionado, right?
Console visuals.
You really care about
and
it.
again, at only 30 FPS, which does
Enthusiast.
not promote defined substantial improvement. But this compromise is completely unnecessary when you take into a whole new perspective on the situation. 60 FPS establishes.
What is this, bro? Like, what year is it? What year is this? Like, what the fuck is going on?
It probably looks all like blocky and pixelated and shit. I can't. Oh, it's 4K at 120 HZ. I have 240 vision and your retina doesn't handle 120 HZ, moron.
How do console players keep eating shit?
How do console players keep eating shit? Well, some of us can't see the shit we're eating. So that's why.
Improvement from last gen without running up the hardware budget.
Yeah.
But what about resolution?
And don't you have a console? You were playing Astrobot. Don't you have a console, Zach?
From a financial perspective and a higher window.
Yes. What's up?
I got something for you.
You've got something for me.
I made some stuff at the Ornament Extravaganza. A snowman.
A snowman?
I even made some ornaments to hang on the tree.
Cool.
A Christmas light. Oh, I even made this.
What is this? Oh,
Galaxy.
cool. Does that go on the tree?
No.
I think it should.
No, it has a lot of strings.
Okay.
And another ornament. And an ornament. And another ornament to hang on the tree.
Okay, go hang them on the tree, okay?
I'm sure that's not all. I even made this.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I even made the red-nosed reindeer picture frame, which is going to have you in it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I got something else. An actual Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer out of popsicle sticks.
Oh my god. Did you see the Papa Meat video?
That's awesome.
Did you see the
A
Papa Meat
football.
video that dropped?
No, send it to me.
I can't.
And
Oh, very cool.
I know.
Okay, buddy. Is that all?
Just two more. This used to jingle, but the jingler got stuck.
Uh-oh. That's okay. That's a cool looking one.
It's a Santa.
I like that one.
Ho, ho, ho. Finally. Oh, wait. There's two. I meant three. I meant three, but
You made a lot.
I know. And I even made a little candy cane and alien reindeer.
A candy cane alien reindeer.
It's
Cool.
Q-Dip. It's Q-Dip in alien mode. Like it?
I do like it.
See? Because Q-Dip has a bow. And finally...
Cupid, you mean?
Yeah. And guess the final thing. Guess the final thing, Mom.
What? I can't guess. I have no idea.
Snowflake.
Awesome.
That's all.
Good job, buddy.
I'll hang the stuff that goes on the tree.
Okay, you do that.
And by the way,
By the way,
the snowman is a decoration.
okay.
And I wanted it for your office.
You wanted it for my office? Well, we'll figure out. Maybe I can ask Dad to help me put it up.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Let's put
Ratio
this
for
back on.
consumers, we need to focus on the 4K and 1080p market. Instead of raising the resolution, which multiplies the cost of 60 FPS outside of hardware capabilities and tightly constrains the budget of enhanced visual techniques, the industry should focus on raising image quality via better
The old
anti-aliasing.
metric was 72
This isn't
HD for absolute stability of image.
a super original
Okay.
stance, but I'm going to bring a lot more context to the argument. I'm also saying we don't need AI or hardware upgrades to achieve this.
No.
Many 9th gen titles are being rendered below 1080p, so sticking to this resolution already logically improves quality here. 4K TVs can rely on integer
I think
scaling
this is what some of the mods do as well.
from a 1080p output in the worst case scenario. But 4K upscaling from 1080p could be a lot more simple and in turn a lot cleaner than the current approaches. But it's a big topic for an upcoming video.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's dive into global illumination. And we're taking a much closer look into the subject than the most popular video covering the topic. First, let's discuss why light maps are not viable for our use case. First, there is developer resistance. There's the time-consuming baking processes which doesn't mix well with modern development culture that caters to lazier and cheaper developments.
Okay. I'm this is what I mean. Like, this is something I'm glad that I'm learning about. I'm gonna be pausing fewer times because this is not something that I know about. So but I'm glad we're learning here.
He says it's not good because people are lazy and they won't use it.
It's mummy stuff. No need to apologize. Oh.
Well, I guess that's one way to say it.
Wait, what? Oh.
We refer to this as checkmark culture.
Yeah.
Many developers have also established light maps and large open worlds face significant memory challenges. Lastly, light
Sure.
maps don't mix well with destructible light sources or dynamic occluders. But
Okay.
so many people push this idea that the only alternative to light maps is bland ambient lighting with maybe some DFAO or a super dynamic expensive GI method, when many 8th generation titles shipped with alternative solutions, much more lightweight, and in some ways higher quality.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? I mean, like, if you look at the quality here and you look at the quality there, yes, this is better, but I feel like you're looking at something that's like 85% versus like 100%.
Okay. And that's this this is like I said, this is something that I'm kind of glad that I'm listening to, because we're stepping outside the comfort zone of what I know about. This is good.
I do feel like graphics have kind of peaked.
Yeah.
Than what use case titles are using today.
I may be blind, but even I can say I think graphics have kind
Before I
of...
go any further,
yeah,
I want to dismiss the
970.
inevitable comments on the highly unrelated issue where dynamic objects pop out from their baked environments.
Oh, yeah.
This poor-looking phenomenon is usually implemented on purpose, usually in competitive games where player sight or perspective advantages are unwanted by the developers.
Yeah, of course. It's
But
annoying.
the systems I mentioned today should not introduce this effect, since both static and dynamic objects should be shaded in the same pass. Quantum Break, MGSV, and I'm pretty sure Detroit Human all utilize pro-based lighting, in combination with screen space GI-AO and or combined with an ambient lighting fallback.
Okay.
Unity has a pro-based lighting-only system as well, that even records or really pre-computes the visibility of moving skylights. But a lot of people will argue against these volumetric-based approaches with concerns about leaking or wall thickness limitations.
Okay. This is... Again, I'm trying not to... I'm trying to pause it so that I can... have, like, fair use, but
This sets the conversation for 3 different topics. Most people...
I think that what happens is that I feel like the reason why a lot of this happens is just because developers, and this is probably why a lot of developers are moving towards Unreal. I feel like in the last, like, well, I mean, we've got 2 big examples, right? We have CD Projekt Red, and we also have Halo, right? And so 343 Studios, 2 massive, insanely big IPs that are moving over to Unreal Engine, and those are just the ones that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. I think that the reason why is because it standardizes everything, but the problem is that I think when everything becomes standardized,
it's like better than it's like arguing that vinyl is better than tape but when you're arguing over the playback machine. That's a good analogy.
games don't have that like unique appeal. And I don't know how I can explain it, but it's like the DNA of certain games just feels different. And I do feel like with every game being made in Unreal 5, that will be lost. Yeah, Atlas is also moving to Unreal Engine. I didn't know that. Gameplay isn't tied to engines. I don't think it's necessarily tied to engines, but in a lot of cases it is, because the developers probably don't innovate separately from like just what the engine provides naturally. And it partially is, yeah.
Only familiar with overly simple ambient occlusion implementations that cause halo artifacts around objects like characters.
Wait, what's going on with... What did you just send me?
This has long been an issue with UE4 and to this day even UE5's SSAO. But you can go back almost 9 years ago to MGSV, where it says SSAO originally suffers from the same problems, but
This game came out 9 years ago?
From the same problems,
This game came out 9 years.
UE5's SSAO. But you can go back almost 9 years ago to MGSV, where it says SSAO originally suffers from the same problems, but
This game came out 9 years ago? What the fuck happened?
What does it look like? So a game that came out 9 years ago, why does it look so much better than a game that's out now?
What happened? Like,
for driver-forced HBO Plus, a closed-source technique, but often butchered, largely solves this Halo problem at a dirt cheap price.
Yeah.
Another issue you'll find with most AO is their lack of lighting awareness. For instance, anything in direct light should not have AO applied if you compare to path tracing. This can be implemented as seen with this open source mobile compatible GTAO.
Okay.
Another issue with a lot of AO solutions is noise. And we've seen plenty of non-TAA reliant examples.
I think I saw that in Once Human before. Yeah, have you guys seen that in games? Let me see if I can pull it up. Because, yeah, I've seen it before myself. It's in Stalker 2. Really? Yeah, like that right there. Holy shit. Tarkov has a switch for it.
Non-TAA reliant examples, but I want to quickly mention
Dancing
MXAO,
Pixels. Yeah, I guess so.
which purposely doesn't use random sampling patterns because those require more expensive denoisements.
Dancing Pixels. That's what they're talking about. Okay, I get it now. See, this is something that like I need to. This is what I'm trying to learn about because this is all visual stuff.
Uses Bayer dithering because it's easier and cheaper to smooth. Retro games also use Bayer for smoothing, but in an analog sense. In other words, taking advantage of the easy smoothing properties offered in Bayer extend outside of SSAO. I could cover a lot more regarding the AO situation, but I'll go ahead and move on with a memory concern on probes.
Okay.
A smarter approach for this issue is to bake probe density near static surfaces while keeping it more sparse in open areas. Maybe introducing newer probes around dynamic objects. Leak prevention has been discussed in Detroit Human documents, and my personal favorite is from a GI SIGGRAPH presentation from 2021, using a low-resolution depth map function. Now that I've covered these popular graphic concerns, you're now ready for my addressment of the pros and cons of the technologies saturating modern graphic conversations. Then I'll discuss some of the forgotten gems of GI rendering to enrich consumer knowledge of existing graphic techniques and revive consumer awareness on optimized performance in this modern age of hardware abuse.
I wish I knew more about this because this guy's video is very, like, well explained. He's breaking everything down in a very, like, instructional manner. It's just that because he knows so much about the topic, he's using language that I'm just like, what?
Now let's talk about...
See, like, that's the thing is, like, I don't even know, like, I've seen some of these examples myself. But, like, I've never really had it explained.
DDGI, which ray traces the environment's lighting in sparse amounts that end up being encoded into irradiance probes that light the environment with zero noise.
Okay.
It approaches leaking via adaptive probe relocation. DDGI can't provide ambient occlusion, though. To see what I mean, take a look at the path trace reference, then DDGI with conservative radius RTAO, and then DDGI with the UE4's SAO. And like I said, we need better SSAO, but material AO is an important piece of the look that should be pre-computed for consumers.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so important to fix the baked material AO workflows inside Unreal, since they're far from being a checkmark workflow.
I wonder what AO stands for. That's something that I'm wondering.
But DGI also lacks indirect shadows present in path tracing, SVOGI, lumen, and even baked lighting inside Unreal, provided via distance fields, a very cheap and great looking effect for non-skeletal meshes. It's just that distance fields have to reside in VRAM, and although seemingly small to store, Unreal does a very bad job at optimizing the resolution on a per object basis. The last thing DDGI lacks is rough specular or radiance. You can see this difference in path tracing in lumen versus DDGI. But this might just call instead for small-scale specular representation.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can really see a huge difference there or not.
I was gonna ask if there's a visual difference there at all.
Yeah, specular reflection? Yeah.
As seen with Quantum Break, or probably a better example would be the Order's 1886 use of spherical Gaussians to get that very important directionality appearance.
Wait, so this came out in 2015?
Wow. That's crazy. 2015 and it looks...
Something happened.
Ambient occlusion. Oh, okay.
Bro, in like 10 years, are we going to be back to making like Super Nintendo games and like nobody knows how to make Elden Ring anymore?
Maybe. Everything's gonna be all blocky, and like every game is gonna look like Roblox. Yes,
Like,
that's
yeah,
what
no,
it's
you
gonna
You
be.
can't make a 3D game. Like, are we gonna just keep going backwards?
Yep.
This is nuts.
The lighting.
It's
now
a
that I've
regression,
defined
yeah.
LumenGI's superior aspects over DDGI, now it's time to go over its major issues such as the cost, which can usually hang around 3.8 milliseconds in a large city environment on a desktop 3060. And remember, this is only the cost for LumenGI, since Lumen Reflections introduced their own separate cost for any material below a certain roughness value.
Yeah.
I'm giving LumenGI the best possible timing here since I slowed down its update rate significantly from its default configurations in combination with using its faster, softer ray tracing version.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But despite being on its 5th iteration, none of the major issues everyone is talking about has been fixed, such as the disocclusion errors, the splotchy inconsistencies.
See, you look at that, bro. Like, look at this.
So the engine itself is still providing these errors, despite it being on, what is it, Unreal 5.5, and they're still freaking around with
Has been
these errors.
fixed,
That's
such as
not,
the
that's, not
That's
good. How are
weird.
developers supposed to make good
How
games?
does this happen? Holy shit.
CRTs had inherent chaos and blending. A lot of the graphical enhancements are due to the swap over of LED screens, LED/LCD screens. CRTs have inherent chaos. Huh.
Shit.
Occlusion errors, the splotchy inconsistencies,
Yeah.
noise, and smearing.
Why
which
is
is
it so
especially bad when
bad?
you have a character with a camera-based turn animation where light can smear on the character's face.
Why is it so shitty? Why is the Unreal Engine so shit? That's not okay.
A scenario
How are
conveniently
developers
replicable
supposed to
in
make a
Fortnite.
game?
Lumen's normal base temporal rejection either scales on the ineffective side or refuses to account for basic two-position subpixel jitter. And the importance of that issue will eventually be covered in our anti-aliasing technology video. It's now time to present some very optimized and criminally under-discussed indirect lighting techniques so we can continue getting the record straight. MGSV interpolates multiple sets of spherical harmonics containing times of day, weather cycles, and lighting scenarios.
Sure, yeah,
To
a
save
lot of games had
cost,
that.
it shades diffuse indirect lighting on a texture half the size of the main resolution. Then, bilaterally upscales it by comparing the half-resolution depth texture with a full-resolution depth texture.
I don't understand. Like, did it just get worse because of, like, people trying to save money?
Maybe.
Because that's incredible.
There's no reason why at 2024 games should look shittier than a game from 2015.
So that all geometric lines
Yes?
are evenly and efficiently lit. But let's get more advanced though. The Division is another similar scenario with a mostly static environment with dynamic lights. The GI approach in the Division uses probes that store cube maps
Yeah.
of the normal and albedo scene. The
They got
probe's visibility
lazy?
to each other is pre-computed and listed in memory. And of course some other complex concepts are applied, but we end up with a solution that creates bounce light per frame as lights are casted on objects. Short-term, non-screen space bound GI in an open world, all done on base 8th gen consoles. This is so much more impressive than the splotchy mess we have with Lumen in large-scale scenes.
Why are we doing, like, why is it so bad though? That's what I'm trying, like, as somebody who has no idea about any of this, why is it so splotchy and
Let's
messy?
talk about another lighting approach seen on PS4, such as shadow map occlusion tracing in Ghost of Tsushima. The devs
Yeah,
use
that game looked really good. So is it just people that don't know how to use the tools and they just get lazy? Is that what happened?
Eyes don't motion blur. Film does. A lot of people think they need to make it look like film. Huh. That's weird. Like, that's a very odd... Like, why would we want that?
Buffer cube
Like-
map similar to the Division, and then trace the
Why wouldn't we
sunlight
just
shadow
want
map
the
to prevent
game to
Average
work
gamer will
the
not
way
notice
I
this
do?
shit. So this is the way I think average gamers see it. The games that have this, it creates a value and an improvement
Yeah.
that is hard for people to really understand. but like they will notice it, but they won't notice that they notice it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The game will just look better.
Yes. They won't. They'll notice it, but it won't like do anything specifically. Like it's hard to explain because I don't understand most of this, but yeah, I think I understand. Ow.
This technique is apparently a little crude, but I've never seen this exploited for a glow illumination technique in terms of occlusion, etc. And it's something we need to start considering when we erase shadow maps with ray trace shadows that don't provide that depth information. Now, our last mention for GI is going to be Radiance Cascades, which is not an 8th gen technique,
Okay.
but it was designed under a scenario where abusable and competent TAA could not be used, and the graphics programmer behind it wasn't a fan of the undocumented slow resolve timings not found in dynamic GI papers. Now, Radiance Cascades comes from the screen space GI that introduces a optimized ray sampling method, where a fixed cost I've heard is possibly maintainable.
Yeah.
Basically, you have a dense layer of probes sampling a few directions in a very limited range. Then, another layer of probes, less dense than before, sample further information at a higher directional capacity.
I wonder if this is going to keep getting worse. I feel like it probably will. I think so, yeah. This is a technique that PoE2 uses? Maybe.
This is... I wonder if Path of Exile is accessible. I'm trying to find games that new games to play.
Most people don't care. I think that people do care about a game being good.
More layers or cascades.
So, like, to the extent that it makes the game look bad, they will care.
It's a concept that optimizes the spatial relevance of rays, so that each layer
as
can be...
As soon as it affects how the game looks or plays, yeah, they'll care.
Coherent enough representation to generate realistic bounce light,
especially when every game is using the same
done in
model.
2D, but there's already moving development in the 3D space, and now recently a very fast non-screen space implementation just saw the light of day. When you
look... If the compiler will execute and compile in the same manner, then the same inefficiencies will happen.
At these techniques from a broader perspective, I really hope viewers can see the potential each technique brings for a specific problem.
Yeah.
I want to see more exploration in these approaches from graphic.
I'm glad you're in chat, Fury, because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is about.
Engineers, especially in Unreal.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, what he's really complaining about is that instead of developing their own lighting solutions that are intrinsic to that game and made for that game, they just use the default lighting solutions that Unreal has, and there's a lot of software and like hardware costs that creates.
That's what it sounds like. That from my very layman understanding, that's what it sounds like. He's complaining about the fact that they're not coming up with their own solutions. They're just using the default solutions that are available on an engine that is not quite fixed or fully optimized yet.
Okay. Yeah, I just, I mean, as I said, I understand about like probably 30% of this, maybe 40. But probably
good
not,
for you, because I understand about 2%.
Not even half.
Good for you.
You have an industry standard engine that is founded on temporal smear abuse and sustained by Fortnite, a game where expensive dynamic GI is actually justified because the environment is not static, but completely dynamic. We get games like Stalker 2 where the environment is static, but ends up performing and looking worse than it should in consumer hands.
Really?
That's unfortunate. I didn't realize that. That's very unfortunate that that's affected.
I never ran into this, but I have a 4090. Is this true?
Fortunately, these legitimate problems will not be fixed or focused on by mainstream industry because there is no market incentive. Despite what I and many others consider peak abuse in performance and image quality standards, standout games will continue to thrive regardless as long as the majority of consumers excuse modern issues.
That's true. If people just keep buying the games and playing the games despite the way they look and play, there's going to be no retribution for that.
Due to not knowing what's possible.
I don't think that people notice it. And the issue with the lighting is like the other video with the like anti-aliasing and seeing how people kind of like ghost around in frames. I think that that's much easier for a person to understand because it's just easier to understand than lighting, right? Because lighting has like a degree of logic behind the understanding, whereas just being able to see a character moving and looking weird doesn't really take a lot.
That's true. Even if you're getting a verbal description of that, the lighting stuff is more complicated than just saying, oh, this character is moving in a glitchy fashion, or like, you know what I mean? It's very different.
Watch the newest video about the industry bullying him? Wait, what?
Possible in graphics optimization or simply having zero hope in future improvement. Threat Interactive is that hope. And your subscription to the channel is pivotal in the success of our mission. So if you haven't, subscribe right now if you care about modern image quality and basic performance standards, because that will push our content to the majority of consumers.
Okay. That's a strange call to action. I've never heard somebody put a subscribe call to action quite like that before.
This is your opportunity to establish a market that is being taken advantage of and validated and ignored. And if it interests you, binge our information-packed content, starting with our first video on fake optimization.
I think that the reason why a lot of people don't like this guy is because people like this guy from the perspective of people that are like lazy. I think in a lot of cases, people like him are inhibitors, where they think that, well, we don't want to do everything that he wants because it lowers the quality or it costs more time or money. But the reality is that I think that with anybody who's like, have you guys ever been in a class, like this is probably true in like high school or like maybe college, where like there were people in the class that were like hyper invested and hyper fixated on it. And when things weren't going the way that they were supposed to be going, that person got really upset or annoyed about it, right?
Yes. Or like if somebody, there was always the person that wanted the extra homework, and it was just, rather like using a specific AI model. That's true. The engine sometimes will just do its thing, Fury. AI is finicky that way.
And like we had the nerd. Yeah, well, I mean, like that's like one way to say it. But yeah, he has no chill. I love it. Exactly right. And so whenever I look at this guy, I see somebody who's like really opinionated and extremely in like what would I really call it? There's the video. Give it a like. I completely support these guys, by the way.
He's opinionated, but he's got the information with which to form that opinion. Like, he's not just sitting there spewing shit. He knows what he's talking about. So I think he's got the oops. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. When animals eat their owners, oh God. I saw this in my feed and I didn't grab it. I should have. I'm glad it's here. Let's let's take a look, shall we?
Welcome back to the Papa Meat Channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about pets eating their owners. I don't
Oh boy. Pets eating their owners.
know why
Are
we're
we
necessarily
gonna talk
doing this.
about
It's
the-
just been
Are we gonna talk about the gorilla that ate the lady's face too?
kind of a topic here at Meat Studios. I just thought it's been fascinating. So I thought, why not make a video and indulge you on some of the conversations that we've been having here at the studios. And an important question to ask early on is, why would a pet eat one of its owners, right?
its owner's
Well,
dead?
the answer is simple. They're animals. Typically, no matter how much of a bond you have with your pet, when they get hungry, they will revert back to their animal instincts and eat their owners to survive. I've heard this a lot too with like cats. Cats are very notorious for as soon as the dead body, as soon as you're dead, they're gonna eat you immediately. If
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. As soon as you die, the cat's like, "Oh, yummy. A snack."
anything, don't they say that cats are always wanting to eat you, but they're like too big or something? I think, let me, hold on a second. Allison will know this. Hey, Allison.
Hey.
You know how cats will eat their owners after they're dead, just like immediately? Is it also the thing where don't cats also want to kill and eat their owners already when they're alive?
No, they also don't always eat their owner when they're die. They'll wait till they're hungry.
That kind of throws a wrench in what I just said. Okay. Well, no. All right. Well, I'm glad I asked you because the people would have been mad that I'm wrong.
Okay.
All right. Fine. All right. Well, anyways.
That's funny. That right away his whole thing is just thrown a wrench in. No, they don't always eat their owners when they die.
Listen up, maggots! I need you to join up in World of Tanks Blitz. World of Tanks Blitz is a cross-platform, team-based MMO full of fierce tank combat. An tank, and plus, from now holiday season, a Android deceased people on my Steam and Switch. Thank you so much to World of Tanks Blitz for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. It is very common for dogs to be gentle and protective around newly deceased people. Not my dogs, dude. Tugboat.
I'm eating.
He would immediately eat me. There wouldn't be a slight hesitation. First responders have stated, quote, their dogs would leave them alone, hover near them, or even try to protect them.
Aw. That's sad.
There are exceptions to this rule, like an incident that took place in 1997, when a man in his 30s took his own life in his house. The police entered the scene to find a friendly German Shepherd minding his own business. Upon bringing the dog along with him, the dog began to vomit his owner's skin, hair, and blood, only 45 minutes after he passed.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ, did the dog not get fed or something before the guy did the deed?
Dude, you better believe that dead guy would have been finger licking good, dude. Big old bucket of chicken. Man, how brutal is that? You come across that crime scene and all of a sudden you start seeing the dog just being like, ugh. You know what I mean? One of those. Ugh. What's wrong, buddy? And then just like a ear falls out of his mouth. Brutal. Yeah, like fingers, toes, something like that. A toe would be devious. A devious toe? No way. It is common for dogs to lick a deceased owner in order to wake them up. When the attempt fails, they often panic. The licking can soon turn to biting to the point of drawing blood. I want you to wake up, dude. Damn.
That'd be my dogs, Teddy and Max.
Yeah, your dogs.
I would be devoured.
That's... I think Ninja and Jordy would... Ninja for sure. The frickin' piggy. He would
You have eaten people before. Your
He
dog
would
looks
eat
like a
us.
human being. According to Dr. Carolyn Rondo from the UCL Institute of Archaeology, this could trigger an instinctive behavior, resulting in more wounding and eventually consumption of human tissue. And it is common for feeding to start at the
Gross.
face and
I
neck
know,
before moving
right?
to the chest, and after that, the upper and lower extremities are broken up and consumed. Start with a nice face, a nice neck, maybe some titties, soft tissue, easy to bite into. Like I said, finger licking good.
I watched a documentary where hyenas ate this elephant's hole first because his skin was too thick.
Why?
I did the exact same, dude. I will always claim Ask before I claim anything else. And in some cases, more aggressive dogs may go after their owner's body to show dominance. In a situation where they sense a weakness, there's a hierarchical. In a situation where there's sense of weakness, there's a hierarchical shift that may provoke an attack. And of course, if animals were confined without an owner for long enough, they are left with no choice but to eat them to stay alive.
Yep. They've got to have something to eat. Owner's not there to fill the kibble bowl.
See, that makes sense. If I was dead for like a day.
Dude, if I was dead and my dog was trapped, I'd be like, get at me, dude. Survive while you can. Because at some point, someone's going to be like, what the...
Chicken
Hopefully,
looking
something.
good.
Yeah, my ass. People would be like, well, I haven't heard from him.
No.
Good. With all this in mind, let's talk about some of the crazy incidents of pets eating their owners. It's a positive video for the day.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
Very happy. What a happy holiday video. What a wonderful, happy Christmas Day video, or Christmas time video.
Nest out of human remains. Nice title. There are a few recorded cases of rodents, namely hamsters, being especially gruesome when faced with the dead body of their owners. Would
Jesus, no. Why? What Fury Kitten? What have you known that
not
I
expect
didn't
that
know?
of a hamster. If I'm being honest, or should they be in cages? Do people let
Yes.
their hamsters roam free?
I only let my hamster roam free.
You're the smelly kid, dude. You're definitely the smelly kid in school. He smells like a
Vomit
ferret. In one
factor,
case,
right?
a 43-year-old
I know.
woman had passed away while her golden hamster was out of its cage. When the police entered the home, they found that the woman's face had several tissue defects. In a nearby drawer, the hamster had created a makeshift nest using hair, skin, and muscle fragments.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why are we watching this? This is horrifying. Oh my God.
I tell you what, though, that is awesome. Well, you don't need this anymore, do you, Mother? Mother, do you need your cheekbones anymore? Your teeth?
You know, it would have been sick if they opened the drawer and it was just her face.
Oh, yeah, they open the drawer and it's just her face like this. Wasn't that fucking brutal? The hamster had also been gnawing on the skull of the victim in order to grind its front teeth down to acquire calcium.
I've got shivers going down my spine.
Easily accessible parts of the woman, like the face and arms, were being devoured over time. We cannot show this picture. And in another
No, I
case of
can
rodents,
imagine
a
not.
woman in her late 70s was found dead in her home from pneumonia. She lived alone with her golden hamster. What the f- is up with golden hamsters, dude?
Yeah, what is with hamsters in general? Just, I don't ever want a hamster now.
Golden hamster, which we're quickly finding out are just little demons, who now had to fend for itself. The hamster began slowly eating the woman's body, and when police arrived, she was...
What? No, it made a nest out of its owner in a drawer. And used its skull to grind its teeth down.
found with both hands amputated and missing a large amount of muscle and soft tissue. That's brutal.
Lovely.
When it comes to post-mortem injuries, it is common for homeless people to be victims of rodents. And in one reported instance, a 41-year-old homeless man's body was found injured within an hour of his reported death.
An hour. God damn, those rodents are hungry. Those rodents are just, they just can't wait.
It's also street rats.
Yeah.
Street rats are basically,
Street
I mean,
rats
like, I
are
would
just
consider them to almost be
evil.
humans with just how effectively, like, heinous and terrible they are. They're also huge. If this was in New York, have you seen those rats that are like the size of a cat?
Oh God.
I don't think I could take down a regular rodent like that.
No.
So you couldn't handle 12 if they cornered you?
No. I honestly, I'm seriously wondering if I was at my house and I was like, I fell down and I can't get up, like life alert button, help me. And I had like, let's say I just, for some reason I had 12 hamsters. Do I think
12 hamsters. Why would you want any hamsters after reading these stories?
Imagine one of them
Hunter?
bites your ankle, and then bite your neck. It's gonna turn into one of those situations. I could see myself easily folding to 12 hamsters.
Hamsters are
I had
carnivores,
a
especially
very evil
insects.
hamster
Yes,
who'd always
that's
bite
true.
me when I tried to get him. And then I got a nice hamster, but then he died of heat exhaustion. And then I sent him down the slide as a final goodbye. And the evil one survived for another 5 years.
The evil one survived.
How about we move on to bugs and reptiles? Vogel,
Oh,
a 30-year-old
no.
German man,
How about
died
we
after his
not?
pet black widow spider named Bettina bit him. Dude,
Why would you have a black widow spider as a pet? No, thank you.
why the fuck do people need to have bugs as pets? I know there's going to be some weird-ass people being like, my spider would never do that to me. Or my horde of grasshoppers in my closet. As we're going to have. So we definitely have
My
some bug
horde of
fans, dude.
grasshoppers. in
My
my
nephew's a
closet.
bug fan. He's got spiders and
He has pet spiders? Cut that out. Cut it out.
mantises.
No reason, dude. It's like Buffalo Bill with all those moths in his house, dude. And all of a sudden he's gonna be like, oh, puts the lotion on the skin. The man was known to be reclusive as well as an
Try
avid.
dockside rats. They could be the size of a terrier. Nutria are notorious for eating bones for calcium. Yeah, I don't think I need to see a rat the size of a terrier. Thank
Collector
you.
of insects and reptiles. And watch out. Like I said, it got nipped out in the bud quick. According to spider experts, Kogel was in possession of creatures that should never be allowed in a private home. That's something you like to hear. It was discovered that the man owned a boa constrictor. Oh, God. I could
Please don't. Please don't tell me the boa constrictor is gonna eat the guy.
never. If I went into somebody's house and they had a boa constrictor, I would Sudoku myself. And then the snake would eat me, and then I would actually be in hell. A boa constrictor, poisonous frogs, why? And 200 spiders!
200 spiders. Why do we need 200 spiders? I don't understand.
200,
Why?
Some of which are described as, quote, the equivalent of a pit bull in the animal. Some of which were described as the equivalent of a pit bull in the animal world. What does that mean? Are they saying that one individual spider is as dangerous as a pit bull?
Yes. I think that's what they're saying. I think they are saying that the one spider is
Vicious,
equivalent to
aggressive.
It's as aggressive as a 90-pound pit bull. It's like on my face. After 1 to 2 weeks, the police had entered his apartment after receiving reports from his neighbors about a terrible smell.
Oh, no.
I always wondered that one time when I was younger, my neighbor, I think I was too young to comprehend it, but I was like, what is that smell from his house or whatever? I thought that he moved. I think he died in his house.
Oh, dear. That's dark.
And I complained to my parents, and they're like, oh, it's probably whatever. Leave him alone. And then, yeah, it turned out he died. But I don't know if it was his body or not. Or it could have been sewage, Nick. I'm not sure. It was probably his dead body. According to the police spokesperson, it was like a horror movie. His corpse was over the sofa. What they found was Vogel on the sofa, completely covered in spider webs that were...
There is almost no true herbivore. Almost all animals are opportunistic, carnivores, omnivores. That's a good point, cannibalistic.
coming out of every orifice on his body.
So he's basically Frodo and Sheila's lair.
Also his butthole. I said every orifice. We're coming out of every orifice in his body. Like leaned up his ass. They're like, oh my word. It was determined that Vogel was bitten by a black widow spider, leading to his death.
Well, yeah. You're not gonna survive getting bit by a fucking black widow.
Pieces of him were ripped off by reptiles, some stuck hanging from tarantula webs.
Oh, Jesus.
How do you even approach a fucking crime scene like that? If you go inside and you see like a boa constrictor has obviously eaten part of his
Deer
body,
eat
there's
meat all
like
the
poisonous
time.
frogs walking around, you not light a match
Interesting.
and just let
I didn't know
the
that.
place burn at that point? Or how about we talk about the organ farmer who was eaten by his own pigs?
Oh, Lord, have mercy. What are we doing here with this video?
Those are scary, dude. In 2012, 69-year-old Terry Vance Gardner went to feed his pigs, but never returned. Several hours later, a family member went looking for him and found him dead in pig stalls. All that remained was his scattered body parts and loose pair of dentures. Due to the state of his body, it was determined
I've seen vids of cows eating chicks like chicken nuggets. Oh, Jesus Christ.
the several pigs he owned had eaten him. It was noted that Gardner's pigs were much larger than average U.S. pigs, weighing in at 700 pounds apiece. Those are giant.
Those are fucking boars. Those are not regular pigs. Those are boars.
Pigs. There were suspicions that one of the pigs had intentionally knocked over and killed Terry, intentionally due to the prior event where the pigs had bitten him. So wait, they're saying that this is like straight Animal Farm? The pigs caused the coup? They're like,
yeah,
look at-
this is literally Animal Farm. The pigs took over and ate their farmer. And yeah, that's Animal Farm.
A district attorney, however, states that a heart attack or other medical emergency was likely the cause of the man's death. Due to the state of Garner's remains, there was no way to tell what actually caused his death. What do you think, Nick? Do you think pig conspiracy or do you think heart attack?
I think it was pig.
You
I bet
actually...
the wife was like, "Is that pig? Is it?"
I honestly, I think it was a pig conspiracy. I think the pigs knocked him down and ate him.
It's him. It's that pig that killed. How dare you? Or
Pork
we talk
eating
about a man who was
pork.
eaten by 3 dogs. In 2020, the Philadelphia Police Department entered the house of a 67-year-old man who had been missing and unresponsive for days. We're already starting to see a pattern. If you're past the age of 60, you need to stop owning all these animals. You need to just, none of that. At a certain age, they're just like, oh, you had your time with them, you're done. The man owned 3 large Cane Corso Bull Mastiff mixed dogs.
Jesus Christ. That's a massive dog. Cane Corso Bull Mastiff
Which
mix?
were not even a year old. He just had these giant dogs. According to the brother-in-law, the dogs were not known to be aggressive. Oh, yeah? According to the victim's
Except for
brother-in-law,
now.
quote, we looked at the side window and we see him lying in the bed and his face was all pinkish. It had been reported that the house was ransacked by the dogs in an attempt to find food. As a last act of desperation, they began feeding on the owner's body. Also, are they trying to say too that they ate his face and it was like this the muscle fiber of his face?
Yes.
It's brutal, dude. At the same time, like we said though before, if they were my puppers, feed away. Or in 2006, a 54-year-old woman from New York was eaten whole by her 2 pet dogs. Not even just the face, her entire body. That's fun. The neighbor of the victim had alerted the police after entering the home to find human bones on the floor. Oh, these photos, Nick. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Again, these are probably photos that can't be shown on YouTube.
Can we show these?
I mean, it's not gory.
Okay, here's the pictures. What they found was a house filled with animal feces, empty bags of dog food, and scattered bone shards. There was a mass of human hair, dentures, and various clothing near the remains. Much like coyotes or wolves, dogs will scatter the broken up remains over a large area. Due to the eviscerated state of her remains, it was difficult to piece together her information. The labeled dentures, however, allowed a link to her medical records.
They had to identify her through her dentures. That's how bad her animals ate her. Oh my Lord.
Revealing her age and proof that she was a petite woman. I like how they're sitting there and they're piecing together like, oh my God, she's a petite woman. She never stood a chance. According to her neighbors, it was suspected that she died of a drug overdose. Yeah, I like how their neighbors are just like, she was a nut, probably died of a drug overdose, and reporters are like, okay, we're just gonna run with that. However, the dogs were found completely healthy with no traces of drugs found in their system.
So the dogs, they tested the dogs to test if they were eating a toxic human, and they had not.
1 month had gone by after the woman died, leaving the Chow and Labrador mix confined to a small space in the house. Images taken revealed that there were large empty bags of dog food that were torn open on the floor. There was no water source visible, meaning the dogs likely were forced to drink out of the toilet. Although they were trapped for a long time, there was no odor or decomposition stains surrounding the house, suggesting that the consumption of the human body occurred quickly after death.
So they ate all the dog food, and then resorted to eating her.
Question: what happens with these dogs? Do they get put down?
You would assume they have to put them down. I would assume. If someone gets murdered in your house or dies in your house, don't you have to report it when you sell the house? So that'd have to be the same thing with when you adopt them. So these dogs, they're adorable. Like, oh my God, they are cute. They ate their last owner whole to where there was no smell. In 2019,
Christ.
a 57-year-old Freddie Mac from Venice, Texas, was eaten alive by 18 mixed breed dogs. It's kind of racist to say mixed breed, doesn't it? I don't know why. It feels a bit racist. 18 mixed breed dogs, not purebreds. Catch the drift. When police arrived at his home, his dogs were in an aggressive state, and a police drone had to be used at some points because of how unruly the dogs were to the police.
That's insane. Well, there's 18 of them, and they're all like their owner's dead, and they're all just running around. Yeah, I'd use a drone too.
The police were unable to locate Freddie until they came across animal feces in a nearby field, containing traces of human hair, clothing, and bone fragments. DNA testing later confirmed that these remains belonged to Freddie Mac. And according to the deputy, Aaron Pitts, quote, never have we ever, or anyone we've spoken to, heard of an entire human being being consumed. Well,
never have I ever in a long, long time.
should have got your happy ass up to New York. It happens all the time. Another officer stated, quote, our initial reaction was kind of a disbelief because there was just simply nothing left. 2 of the dogs were killed by the others, and 13 of them had to be put down for their aggressive behavior. Out of the 18 dogs, only 3 were friendly enough to be put up for adoption.
That is sad. 13 out of 18 were put down. That's really sad.
Well, there you go.
How do you sell those dogs?
Maybe the 3 puppers that did survive and that were kind, maybe they didn't indulge. Like, oh, we got pedigree right here, a lot of it. Oh, I don't care. Or we could talk about cats eating their owners, right? Because similar to dogs, cats have also been known to eat the dead remains of humans. In one case, a man in his early 30s took his own life after overdosing on prescription medication. The man owned 10 cats who slowly feasted on his face and body right down to the bone. It's just so much more weird when it's cats. Dogs, it's like, you know, watching a dog eat dog food, you're just like, yeah, you just know you're like, terrible. Cats are very delicate. So like thinking of like a cat like slowly chewing on a face, I don't know why that's so much more
Hunter, what's the matter with you?
Worse to me. Tiny mouths, but I think it's just how meticulous, how long it would take. So for it to go all the way down to the bone, you're like, you know how long the guy had to have sit there? You know what I mean? That'd be one thing where I was like, dude, you can eat my body. Leave my face alone. You know what I mean? Have my arms, have it my fat ass and my legs. Leave my face. Can I have an open casket funeral, please? Days later, he was found with parts of his body completely defleshed. According to a study on post-mortem injuries, there were injuries present on the head, neck, right upper arm, and the soft tissues, including the tongue, larynx, upper half of the esophagus, thyroid gland, neck, and right upper limb musculature were missing.
So he got it burrowed into his face and his tongue and his throat, and oh my god, that's nasty.
They went into his mouth and gonna start eating the tongue. In a horrific turn of events, the drugs inside the man's system spread to every single cat that feasted on his remains. And in the end, all 10 cats were dead from lethal intake of drugs. That must be testament to how much drugs were in his system. We talked about reptiles a little bit. Let's talk about lizards. Because in 2002, 42-year-old Ronald Huff was killed and eaten by 7 of his 6-foot monitor lizards.
Jesus Christ, 7 monitor lizards? Why do we have 7 monitor lizards in one area?
7 6-foot long lizards, bro. His neighbor and his friend Jeff Wildonger, great name, stated that Ronald often let his monitor lizards roam free in his apartment, keeping his apartment as hot as possible to accommodate them. This is a f***ing Junji Ito horror manga. Like a person being like, God, the hallway was so hot, and there's like humidity coming from this guy's door, like your neighbor's door. You like knock on the door, it opens it. Hello. Huff's past boss admitted that he was once shown bite marks inflicted on him.
The monitor lizards already tried to eat him. They bit him, and he's like, look at boss, look at my bite marks from these monitor lizards.
By his pet lizard. So he's even going to work. He works at Walmart, and he's just like, check it out, dude.
Check out
Gabriel's
my bite
just
marks.
so bitey this week, seriously. Which is a big deal since monitor lizards carry bacteria in their mouths that can lead to blood infections if bitten. How convenient. It appeared that after being bitten a week or so prior, he ended up dying from a staph infection that likely led to organ failure.
What a shocker. A staph infection from a monitor lizard bite? I never would have guessed it.
After the smell from the apartment reached Jeff's bathroom next door, he alerted the police, who promptly entered the apartment. Ronald's corpse, propped up by the front door, was being devoured by his 7 lizards, who were covered in Ronald's blood. Ugh. It's almost like setting up that scene almost as if he was like trying to escape or something. Passed out and like went unconscious. Oh my God, these lizards too. Jeff, who watched the scene unfold, stated that, quote, his cheeks had been eaten off and his molars were where his ears should be. They had eaten his face, eaten his hands, and they actually had eaten into his abdomen and had eaten some of his internal organs. Strangely enough, his neighbor spent the next night.
Cats are delicate eaters. Tell me you're not a cat owner without telling me. I know, right? Ninja will shovel his food in like a dog.
Creating an illustration of what he had witnessed. What? You know what's up too, what I hate about this is that he makes the lizard in the front and bottom right looks pretty cute. Look at him, he's just like, I don't know, I was hungry.
Also, poison dart frogs in captivity are safe because their poison comes from what they eat. Huh. I didn't know that.
You know what I mean? Also, he really got the lynx tapestry up on his wall. He's like, but he did have a really cool, like, wild jungle cat tapestry on the wall. Just had to put that out there. This is a haunting photo. This is crazy. While the lizards were transferred to the zoos, one was ultimately euthanized due to being incredibly aggressive, often running towards people with his mouth open.
Oh, God. It wants more meat.
Good God. It also shows with this drawing how that imagery was just seared into his head. Like one of those things, you know, it's like, oh, that night was on repeat. I bet it was exactly the same for this guy.
Yeah.
But if that isn't crazy enough, why don't we talk about a guy eaten by his adopted bear?
His adopted bear? His adopted bear. Now, this is one I'm not surprised by.
Can we get cute with it? Can we get cute, please, real quick? In 2014, 41-year-old Russian hunter Sergei Grolgov had found 2 brown bear cubs in the forest. He decided to adopt one and give the other to a baiting station, which is a place where live predators are used to train hunting dogs. For 4 years, he kept the bear in a cage in his garden, and there were times that the bear attacked the hunter.
Well, yeah. It's a bear. Of course it's gonna attack you.
Times, right? I mean, he's in the wild. What happens? And I will say the cage that he had is haunting. This is where my bear lives. He used to be completely roaming free. Now he lives in a tiny cage. He loves me though. He's a big love bug. His name, Dimitri. Despite his peers constantly advising him to get rid of it, he continued raising it. One day, the hunter had gone missing though. When his relatives came to check on him and his home, they were met with an aggressive bear roaming the property.
Oh, good. The bear has broken out, and I bet you has eaten the hunter.
Not a good first sign when you haven't seen somebody. The family had brought a dog along with them, which according to them, attacked the bear, giving the people the opportunity to escape to the car. Officers arrived and they were given no choice but to shoot and kill the bear due to his aggression. As they investigated the area, they found that the bear had already eaten and killed the family's dog, as well as one of the other hunters that lived on the property.
Okay, so where's the main hunter of this story?
Eventually, the skeletal remains of the Russian man had been found. He had been eaten down to the bone by his pet bear. The event followed another incident in Russia where a woman had her arm ripped off by a caged bear. More of the story, maybe we leave the bears in the wild.
Yes, let's not cage the bears. Let's leave the bears alone.
I just want to say too, why do I kind of, and this is going to sound up, Nick, why was I kind of rooting for the bear there?
Because he was a prisoner.
Because he's a prisoner. He shouldn't have been a pet. That's not a pet animal. That's a wild animal.
Sergi, come on, man. Please, let's out of here. He's like, no, he loves me. Kisses.
Like bites off his lips. But, you know, to keep the cuteness train rolling, let's talk about pet hippos, which I think I think it's pretty common knowledge that they're like one of the most dangerous animals on the planet. But they do look cute, especially when they do that little, their ears. 40-year-old Army Major Marius Els was bitten to death by his 1.2-ton hippo.
Yeah, it's a hippo.
He named Humphrey. Gonna go ahead and I want to say that me saying was bitten to death feels like the wrong verbiage. He was mauled to death by his 1.2-ton hippo he named Humphrey.
Humphrey the hippo. That sounds like Humphrey the humpbacked whale. Or Humphrey. This is crazy.
Hippo name. Humphrey the hippo. His body was found. I think Humphrey's a better camel name though.
It is.
Because of the hump.
Well,
Humphrey's a better humpback whale name or a camel. He's right.
His body was found submerged in the river where Humphrey was rescued as a baby. Yeah, literally, he's just like, I found you right here. And then, like, Marius adopted the 5-month-old hippo after he became too big to take care of by his original owners. Oh, good. So just people pass around a hippo. That's fun.
Yeah,
Marius claimed that, quote, Humphrey's like a son to me. He's just like a human. And another quote, there's a relationship between me and Humphrey. That's what some people don't understand.
There's a relationship between me and Humphrey. Okay.
Okay, so this guy is kind of like psychotic. He's like not all the way there. Okay. He regarded the hippo as a lovable and gentle giant. But this is not the first time Humphrey had lashed out against a human. Earlier that same year, a 52-year-old man and his 7-year-old grandson spent 2 hours in a tree after being chased by Humphrey while canoeing in a river that was on Marius's property.
So they were just canoeing, and the hippo, being incredibly territorial, did its hippo thing. And they were chased up a tree.
The two tried screaming and clapping their hands, but this just enraged Humphrey. Ah! Ah! The hippo's just like, you! Get out of here! Humphrey can't climb trees. If it was the bear, though, it'd be a different story. Eventually, Marius used an apple to lure Humphrey away from the tree.
An apple? Here, come have an apple, Mr. Hippo.
The two were able to safely get away. I think that's all you needed. He's like, Humphrey. He's such a gentle creature.
He's such a good boy. Look, he likes apples. Humphrey's such a good hippo.
Also murdered calves that belonged to Marius's business partner. Full cows, calves, how fun. He also frequently broke out of his enclosure and chased golfers around at a local golf club, which does sound like a funny early 2000s movie where a guy's like, it's my pet hippo, but this would be horrifying. Marius claimed that the sound of his voice would lure Humphrey back home. And then for Marius to then have been mauled to death by Humphrey, he didn't even eat him. He just left him in the river to drown. This is
He just killed him and just left him there.
all I gotta say. I hope Humphrey was able to return to his river home. All right. I don't think the two people that didn't know that he was there and the golfers, I'm glad they're all safe. Marius, you goofed up.
He loved him. Almost in a sexual way.
You think he...
It kind of sounded like it. You just don't understand, Mari.
You never know, dude, with people that have those eccentric stuff. Like I read this, or I listened to this interview about a guy who had like a sexual relationship with a dolphin. He was like a
with a dolphin? What the hell?
Zoo or something like that, or like an aquarium. He was having a sexual relationship, and he got caught and he was fired. But he wrote a book about it. In conclusion, it's a gruesome reminder that inside every cute little animal, every little pupper and little fur baby out there is it's an animal. It's survival, and in any case, animals will get any opportunity to basically, over. And it's especially, they might love you in the moment, but those hunger pains start coming in. They're gonna eat whatever they can.
Yep. That's pretty much it. Once they get hungry and you're dead, they're gonna eat you. They're gonna eat you. That's basically all it's gonna be. What's this?
Well, Justin Trudeau.
So this is, I want to hear this Sky News thing and debunk it. Because it says any minute now Justin Trudeau will resign. He's not going to resign. He's too full of his own self. Let's see what this says.
Well, Justin Trudeau looks set to resign after two of his ministers resigned within minutes of each other. Here is the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, explaining whilst on the floor of Parliament the chaos that ensued and has led to him possibly standing down any minute now.
He's not, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about Canadians having to deal with people that aren't Canadians talking about our politics. They don't understand. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand, surprised no ferrets on that list. Me too. But they don't understand just how things work here, and they don't understand Trudeau. They don't understand just how narcissistic he is.
The finance minister resigned the day she was to present the fall budget, which was going to contain a massive deficit overrun. The job then went automatically to the industry minister, who immediately resigned. Like on the spot, which
this is a clip from the speech that I did a video on.
Then went down the line, and the next person in order was the famous two Randys. Why won't the Prime Minister have the courage to come in here, present it himself, and put it for a confidence vote tonight?
Or no, this was question period.
Now this is very exciting because if Trudeau does indeed go down, it's going to lead to elections where Conservatives are highly likely to romp it in. And it's very interesting, Gabby, because this came about with his finance minister because she and he had a disagreement about Trump saying, I'm going to slap 25% tariffs on all goods coming from Canada unless you guys get your border under control and stop trafficking drugs and people. Thank you very much. So she had a falling out.
That's so glib, the way that they're talking about that. No, you have a good chance of a Liberal rebellion taking leadership away from him through internal party politics. Yes. Yes. But then what I was saying still goes, we need an election anyway, no matter who leads the Liberal Party, and the Liberal Party needs to take some time as the opposition.
out with him so we can actually thank Trump for what looks like deposing a useless leader in his neighboring country.
Yeah, and we've heard from Trump as well.
Please.
He's come out
useless leader. So we can actually thank Trump for what looks like deposing a useless leader in his neighboring country.
Yeah, and
please stop. We can thank Trump for what it looks like deposing a useless leader in another country. Are we really, Sky News, are we really doing this? Is this how we're going to report things? Because this is so disingenuous. Oh my God, I can't even believe this.
As well, he's come out, of course, trolling in true Trump style, calling Justin Trudeau Governor Justin Trudeau. But it's funny because Justin Trudeau just a couple of weeks ago was calling himself a feminist and saying how sad it was
Just a couple of weeks ago. He's been calling himself a feminist since 2015. Hello? You do?
Chocolate.
Chocolate? Thank you.
rejected electing a female president not once but twice, and then here he is having a fight with his female finance minister. But you know, I think this is the Trump effect in action happening that we're seeing over in Canada as well, because Justin Trudeau has just been known as being a woke leader. With his, if you look at his track record, it's for the he's got a carbon tax, he's decriminalised weed. What else? He's got the immigration crisis in Canada as well. We're going to play a bit of Justin Trudeau. Should we do it now?
Yes.
Here he is with his grand plan about plastic bottles.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
Oh, this stupid clip from like 2 years ago. This is the bullshit they're gonna use. Out of all of the shit that they could use, this is the bullshit. Oh my God.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things.
Paper water bottles. There you go. You know, I saw a poll.
Sky News Australia, Jello Australia. Have you met friends, or have you met my friends Pot, Kettle, and Black? Stop criticizing shit leadership. Yeah, this is bad.
Recently that said that Justin Trudeau is heading to be one of the worst prime ministers on record. That's how Canadians are feeling at the moment. There's vision of him getting heckled. I don't think too many people are going to be sad to see him go.
No, no one's going to be sad to see this finance minister go, because this is the witch that froze the accounts of peaceful protesters during the Canadian... They were just protesting the Canadian government's tyrannical measures during the pandemic. She went so far as to freeze their accounts. So more goodbye and good riddance to bad rubbish.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. I can't finish this. I can't finish this bullshit. They're so out of touch. They are so incredibly out of touch with what they're talking about, and they're behind. They're behind the times. So we're going to look at a different news article. 2 minutes, 2-minute video. We're going to find out that Trudeau fired Freeland over a Zoom call. So here's the CTV video.
Dressed in red, flanked by a circle of supporters, the former finance minister attended the Liberal holiday party.
She actually did. That's crazy that she actually attended the party. I would have thought she would have been one of the people to go home.
Liberal holiday party.
I'm happy to be with my family.
While the Prime Minister showed his spirit to lead.
Like most families, sometimes we have fights around the holidays.
Oh my God, that's actually how he said it. Like most families, we actually actually have fights around the holidays.
But of
Ha,
course,
ha, ha.
like most families, we find our way through it.
But goodwill is running dry. Sources say about 60 Liberal MPs, more than a third of caucus, want Justin Trudeau to step down. Those calls are growing louder after the party lost another by-election on Monday night.
I'm glad the Prime Minister is reflecting on the way ahead. At the heart of that reflection, I think, needs to be a view that says that no individual is bigger than the country.
Sources tell CTV News the Prime Minister told Chrystia Freeland over Zoom last week she was being replaced as Finance Minister.
Over Zoom. They're in the same building. They're in the same fucking building, and he couldn't be bothered to come over and talk to her in person.
But Freeland got in the last word, announcing her resignation publicly on X, criticizing Trudeau for spending on costly political gimmicks and not putting money in reserve to fight Donald Trump's threat of a tariff war.
It was time to inflict, maximum chaos and damage, and she succeeded. I have a lot of respect for Chrystia Freeland.
Freeland negotiated the last free trade deal with the U.S. under the previous Trump administration. On social media, the president-elect celebrated her exit, calling Freeland's behavior toxic and said she won't be missed.
Yeah, he did. He didn't want to hear her crying. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Or he didn't want her to stand up to him, to his face.
Such internal chaos has the opposition demanding Trudeau prove he has the mandate to lead.
The only way for him to get that is to call for an election.
While the NDP leader wants Trudeau to quit, Jagmeet Singh has not called for an election, leaving him open to more conservative taunting.
And put his votes where his words are to trigger an election.
9 cabinet ministers have resigned since the summer.
Yeah, 9 of them. 9 cabinet ministers since the summer have resigned, Chrystia Freeland being the last one.
The minister says he'll take the holidays to consider his next move, to quit or stay and fight for his political life. Omar.
All right, Judy, thank you for this.
That's great, Fury Kitten. I love that. That's great. That is too funny. That is too funny. All right, we're gonna finish off our last video. Axe the Tax election now. I want to show you this live stream that Pierre Poilievre did, and I want to keep covering this stuff because it's important.
That if you hire clowns, you get a circus.
Yep.
But no one should be laughing, because there are real consequences for yesterday's chaotic liberal clown show.
Yes, there are. And the crappy part is that we are the ones that have to deal with these consequences.
These are the consequences. The deficit is 50% higher than we were promised. Our dollar has plunged below 70 cents American for the first time in ages, which means more
70
expensive
cents
fuel.
American. Quick, if you guys want to send in any donations, now's the time. It will cost you less if you're in the States.
Food, clothing, and materials for things like automobiles. It means our people will be poorer and the dollars they worked so hard to earn are worth less.
Mm-hmm.
The real consequences of yesterday's clown show are playing out in tragedies right across this country.
Yes.
But before we talk about those tragedies, let's talk about this incredible, ridiculous, embarrassing Liberal Day on Parliament Hill. Let's capture the story here for a second. The world markets were watching to find out the size of our deficit.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't just Canadians that were watching. It was the markets and stuff too wanted to know.
Remember, Chrystia Freeland, after helping Justin Trudeau double the national debt, add more debt than all prior prime ministers combined, said we can't go beyond the $40 billion guardrail.
Yeah.
Or else we'll go off the cliff. But throughout the year, with the prompting of Carbon Tax Carney, Trudeau's #1 economic advisor, he kept pushing his finance minister further and further leftward. More spending for this or that political gimmick.
Yes. And it was all political gimmicks. Even the disability tax credit. Even the disability tax credit that or not the disability tax credit, the disability benefit that they're talking about giving us is a gimmick.
Costly political gimmick, if I can use the words of Miss Freeland. Again and again, he grabbed the wheel of the financial bus and jerked it to the left with the enthusiastic encouragement of Carbon Tax Carney. And as we were approaching the fall update, he grabbed the wheel entirely, jerked it to the left, smashed the bus through the guardrail and off the cliff. And then he thought he would blame Chrystia Freeland for it all and put in Carbon Tax Carney. They had a deal that he would take Chrystia Freeland's job. Well, when Carney saw how bad it all looked, he said, I no longer want the job.
Yeah. He didn't want the job. Champagne didn't want the job. Boissonneau didn't want the job. LeBlanc took it.
So just blame Chrystia Freeland and make her wear it all. Some feminist.
Yep.
The same week as Trudeau was insulting Americans for not electing a woman president, he was busy throwing his own woman deputy prime minister under the bus.
Yeah. He literally just didn't care about he's like, oh, you should have elected Kamala Harris. Screw you, Chrystia.
To replace her with a man.
Yep.
You can't make this stuff up. And then that man said, I don't want the job anymore. So the published order of precedent that the cabinet of the government of Canada had decided on was that the job would go to the industry minister, François-Philippe Champagne. He immediately resigned, faster than you could even report that he had the job.
Yeah. That's true. It was basically like, hey, you have this job. Nope. I don't want it.
The next person in the order of precedent was Randy Boissonneau. Remember the two Randys. The Randy who claimed that he wasn't the other Randy in order to cover up the fact that he was trying to take public money for his company while he was still a minister. The man who claimed wrongly Indigenous status and had to resign in scandal. Well, he was temporarily the finance minister yesterday as well. And then we realized he couldn't have the job, so they gave it to Dominic LeBlanc. So yesterday we had 4 ministers of finance. On the day they were introducing this $62 billion deficit. Global markets took note, and the dollar plunged.
A real case of looks fun, you go first. Yeah, exactly.
Below 70 cents US. The lowest it's been in ages. Never once got that low under Stephen Harper.
No.
What does that mean? It means your dollar buys less. Fuel, food, clothing, and other internationally priced commodities all automatically become more expensive for Canadians. The dollars that our people...
That means if like a $20 donation for US will be closer to almost $40.
Worked so hard to earn that our pensioners contributed to their plans so much so that they could use are worth less because of the chaos and clown show of Justin Trudeau and the NDP Liberals. And then there is the NDP. Yesterday, Jagmeet Singh had the audacity to claim that he thinks Trudeau should resign after Singh voted just last week to keep Trudeau in power.
Yeah. He's like, I think Trudeau should resign. but you just voted to keep him in power. Yeah, but I think he should resign.
I put forward a non-confidence motion which would have fired Trudeau and triggered an axe the tax election. And I put in that motion the words of Jagmeet Singh, and he voted against his own words.
Yep.
And now that those votes are behind him, he changes his story entirely. And of course, the media gives him an absolutely free ride.
Yeah. They did. They didn't call him out on it. They didn't do anything to, hey, Mr. Singh, you voted for Trudeau to stay in power. What the hell are you talking about?
Not questioning him at all on the obvious contradiction of claiming a man should be fired when you vote in the House of Commons to keep him in the job. The decision to call an axe the tax election is up to Jagmeet Singh, and Jagmeet Singh alone. He has got to end his hypocrisy and stop selling out the people and put his votes where his words are to trigger an election, to join with me in signaling non-confidence to bring down this government as soon as legally possible, using any means legally possible. Jagmeet Singh, Justin Trudeau, Chrystia Freeland, Mark Carney. All the days of their lives, the dramas about their jobs, their pensions, their titles, their interpersonal squabbles.
Yeah.
It's all very entertaining, if it weren't so tragic.
Yeah, if it weren't for the actual lives that were affected, this would be entertaining.
Because there are real dramas out there that matter. There are the dramas of the people who wake up in the morning to find their car is missing because it has been stolen due to catch and release bail. There's the drama of the mother burying her face in her hands because her child has become one of the 47,000 who have died of drug overdoses since Trudeau liberalized hard drugs.
Yep. And again, he's talking about hard drugs. He's not talking about taking away marijuana legalization. He's talking about the hard drugs like fentanyl.
There's the drama of refugee camps opening up in Nepean, in Ottawa, that look like something out of a third world country. There is the drama of the 1,400 homeless encampments that these socialist policies have caused through high taxes, through blocking our resource projects, and through preventing homes from being built. There is the drama of the 39-year-old woman desperate to have kids, but unable to buy a home in which to raise them.
To house them, yeah. She wants to have kids, but there's nowhere to live.
Biological clock running out. There is the drama of the worker at the Labatt Brewery who told me that he is ashamed when he talks to his kids because he never sees them due to the 3 jobs he has to work just so that he can pay the rent. There's the drama of mothers and fathers sitting down with their kids saying you cannot play hockey this year.
Yep.
Because our food, our energy prices have gone up.
Yeah. You can't play hockey. We don't Santa may not bring as many presents this year. Stuff like just talking about stuff like that, it's heartbreaking.
And there is the national humiliation of the President of the United States laughing at our weak, pathetic Prime Minister.
Yeah.
What an embarrassment to all Canadians. Canadians are good, proud, decent people. We, as a country, were admired in this world.
We were.
Before Justin Trudeau and the NDP Liberal government. People came from around the world to call this place home because they knew there was no better place. They were handed a flag when they got a citizenship.
It is very ecologically sound. Now you don't have to fly to the third world to have your own shit. You have your own shithole. Yes, exactly. Isn't it wonderful, Fury Kitten?
There was a promise in this country that anyone from anywhere could do anything, that hard work would get you a powerful paycheck and pension that bought affordable food and homes in safe neighborhoods.
Yes.
That promise is broken. But the good news is we're going to bring home that promise. We need to trigger an axe that people came from around the world to call this place home because they knew there was no better place. They were handed a flag when they got a citizenship and told, congratulations, you live in the best place on earth. You've just won the lottery of life. There was a promise in this country that anyone from anywhere could do anything, that hard work would get you a powerful paycheck and pension that bought affordable food and homes in safe neighborhoods. That promise is broken. But the good news is
Sweet.
we're going to bring home that promise.
Dude, there's
We
actually
need
a...
to trigger.
That's crazy. There's a server for... This is off topic. There's a Discord server for blind Diablo players. That's cool.
Axe the tax election as soon as possible so that we can elect a common sense conservative government that will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. But more than that, a government that will bring our people together. Unite all of us. Liberals, conservatives, New Democrats, the people of this country.
Yes, that's what we need.
Around our common values, our common sense, our common history, and our common optimistic future. Most of all, we need a leader with the brains and backbone, the strength and smarts to stand up for us on the world stage, to face down the threats of tariffs and the leaders around the world, and make our country proud again. In essence, we need to make Canada strong and free. Canada first, Canada last, Canada always. Let's bring it home.
Thank you. We'll now take questions.
And that's the little speech I wanted to show you from Pierre Poilievre. This has to stop somewhere. And this is why I wanted to end off with this video and show everybody just what Poilievre does and how he talks. And I'm going to keep covering this. It's going to be a bit before they're back into the House of Commons, mid-January, I believe. But like I said, I just wanted to to show you guys that. I'm going to end the stream here and go find some dinner. But I wanted to thank you guys for watching, and please consider, even if I'm not live, a PayPal donation. I'm gonna work my ass off about uploading and posting and going live, and I'll do a jumping jacks video if I get a donation off stream. I'll be back to stream some Last of Us tonight, so be sure you check that out. I'm gonna have Pincalo help me get through that little spot, and then we'll continue playing. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.